Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your discombobulated yarn host Jennifer, and today is Monday, and on Mondays I come on and I share with you what I have made in the past week or so. 10 days, 7 days, like whatever I've made recently since the last Monday Makes video was filmed. I have not made a lot. I feel like I made a lot because I worked really hard on what I did make, but there has not been a lot of progress. So, what I did work on, or have been working on, I did share this in Friday's video, is I'm working on, and that doesn't tell you anything, I'm working on the Halloween blanket. Apparently I don't have a picture of it anymore. I'm working on the Halloween blanket. So I have a photo of it on my phone, so we can do it that way because it's in my screenshots. I'm working on this. I have completed the outer border here of the squares. So all the big squares and all the little squares, they're all attached. I just didn't make them into a frame. They're not in frame. I think I showed that last week. So what I did is I attached like the big panel to this side panel, and I attached the big panel to the bottom panel, and then this panel to the top panel, and then this panel crossed. So there's a big square and little squares times 4. That's done. Now I'm working on this part right here, the purple part. And it says Trick or Treat, and it is mosaic. And I just started it. Now, when I finished this outer border, and actually, did I show you guys this? I think I showed you this last week. So I got everything attached. These are cats, by the way. I think I showed this in the middle of the week. I didn't show it for Monday Makes. I showed it in the middle of the week. These are cats. I want to do a blanket with these cats. I am not a cat person. I'm a dog person. But this is fun and it's cute. And it's a 3 rows. So each cat is 3 rows. And it's easy. So can you guys see the cats? So my goal this past week, was to complete the 4 panels. And that means finish all the faces, attach them together, attach them to the big square, and then get this is the bottom border. This is the top border, which is also cat. So the top and the bottom both have the cats. Okay. And then the side panels are not cats. The side panels are what they're calling warts, which is baubles. So I have one side panel, 2 side panels. This is the bottom. So this is this side. This is this side. So I completed that. And because that was a goal for myself, was to complete these strips, I was rewarding myself, and I did post this in the video. I rewarded myself by playing with my Woobles kit. If you hear Poncho crying, it is because she has finished eating before the other dogs, and she gets separated because she's food aggressive. And she wants out of her crate because she wants to go eat Bentley's food. But Bentley will not eat his food if Poncho is out of the crate because he's afraid of her. Because though she is small, she is mighty. She is very much the alpha in the house. She has the strongest personality, and I call her a viper. So if you hear her whining, she is fine. She's just letting me know that she has finished eating her breakfast and she wants out. My reward for finishing that was that I got to play with my Woobles Halloween box. Now, if you don't know, if you're new here, this is the Halloween advent calendar that is back here. I did take a photo of it so that you can see it close up. I will show you that on my phone so that I don't have to do any extra editing, because I really don't want to do extra editing. Alright, so this is the Woobles box. As you can see, I put Gossamer Ghost up in there. I put my salt and pepper shakers for Frankenstein up there. And then I added my little creatures that I have created this week. So that is what it looks like all set up right here. And I even cleaned off room so it could be fully opened. Now, I'm going to turn the light down because I am charging what I made. This is Amun, the mummy, and his green bits glow in the dark, which is what you're seeing. Let me charge him a little bit more so that he has a fresh charge. So he is glowing. Okay. And Amun's toilet paper. Because part of the kit was glow-in-the-dark toilet paper, which is just a roll of Charmin, okay? And it glows in the dark, and it's hilarious, and it makes me laugh, okay? So he's got his little toilet paper. But also, I decided to pull out... Now, I have extras from both of those. So there is enough yarn in the Woobles kits to screw up and come back and make more. Well, look at this spooky lighting. All right, so there's enough to do, there's enough scraps that I refilled Amun's box with more yarn because there's enough of him left over. Now, I also have glow-in-the-dark yarn that is very similar but not at all the same as the glow-in-the-dark yarn from the Woobles. And this is Lion Brand DIY Glow Cozy. And it does in fact glow. It glows, okay? And this is in the color white. So, I was noticing, because I did open, I'm going to ball this up because I can't stand this floppiness. I noticed in the kit there is not a ghost. It's a haunted house. How you going to have a haunted house without a ghost in it? Okay, there's Amun the mummy, there's a werewolf, there's a Dracula, a vampire if you will. There is, what else is in there? A bat, a spider. Like there's all kinds of stuff in the kit. There's not a ghost. Well, you saw that I added, from the picture, you saw that I added Gossamer Ghost in there. But I wanted a Woobles size ghost as well. So, I took my DIY cozy yarn that I'm currently balling up. Is this not fabulous underlining or what? Oh! And I made a little ghost. This is not a difficult ghost, and he is not stuffed. He is just the sheet of the ghost. But because the Wooble style yarn or the DIY cozy yarn tends to be on the stiff side, he stands on his own without any stuffing. And I could absolutely stuff him later on if I wanted to. There, that's all balled up. Let me just fix his eyes a little bit. And we have a glow-in-the-dark ghosty. And I know, because it's, my camera is trying to pick up. Let me extra charge him. I'll charge him real close. And I'll make it real bright in here for you. What is on there? That was stuck to there. See, he's glowing. He's a little ghost. Just a ghost. I'm just a ghost that glows in the dark. He's on. Someone was asking me about this flashlight. It's a blacklight flashlight. I got it from Amazon. Alright, come on. Ooh. See, he glows. And he's real simple. And there are ghost tutorials here on the channel. Oh, look at his ball of yarn fits in there perfectly. So, like I said, this is the Lion Brand DIY Glow Cozy, which glows just as well as the toilet paper does. The yarn in the Woobles kit, this white glow-in-the-dark yarn, is very plastic feeling. It feels very stiff and plasticky, and it feels like nylon clothesline. You know, it's nylon-y. It's very rough on the hands. The DIY cozy DIY Glow Cozy is a much softer yarn. It's 100% polyester, but this one feels very plasticky. This one does not. And then, of course, the Amun has the green. The kit also has, I think, blue glow-in-the-dark yarn, which I also have available to me through Lion Brand. And then I have pink Lion Brand. So not only am I doing the Woobles Crochet Along Halloween kit, I am adding stuff to it, like this little ghost, because he was really, really easy. I still used a 4mm crochet hook. I just did a very simple ghost that this is really easy to do. If you took a moon and you just pretty much did the same stitch count, and I'm gonna give you the pattern right now, okay? It's so easy. So I did 6 single crochets in the round. The next row I increased in every stitch, so the next row had 12. So 2 single crochets in each row. The next row I did 1, 2, 3. I did an increase and a single crochet all the way around, which led to 18 stitches. So increase, single, all the way around. And then the next row I may have done increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, and then I just, whatever that stitch count was, I went in the round until he was about as tall as I wanted him to do. And then I went like every 4 stitches and put an increase. And then I did like just a couple of increases around, didn't count, so that he's flared out a little bit. And then that's how you get the ghost. And if you crochet tight enough with this yarn, it's stiff enough that it will stand on its own, that he will not need stuffing. Now if you want to stuff him, you can stuff him and then just recreate his head and attach it and sew it on the bottom so that he is stuffed. You could do that. But that's how I made the little ghosty. Really easy, not difficult. I wonder if Bentley's done eating so Hanya can come out. I'm gonna go let her out and check on the status of the other dogs. All right, she has been freed, and Bentley actually ate all of his food without me babysitting him, which he struggles with doing. All right, I'm gonna put this back in here. I've been using the little Woobles bag that came with the kit for carrying around my supplies. So I have eyeballs because the ghost needed his own eyeballs, which these eyeballs are so pretty. They're like rainbow. I got these from Amazon, and they also sink in. They're the sinkable eyeballs. I paid way too much for what they gave me in this package, and I thought they were going to be bigger, but I'm kind of glad that they're smaller. These are really hard to get in on the Wooble yarns because the yarn is so thick, and these kind of, the back, the eyeball and the back, like it sinks into the back. They're really difficult to connect and get it to click on with thick yarn, so they're really hard to work with the Woobles yarn. And some chenille yarns, they work better with like your basic acrylic 4-weight. Even with this, I was really struggling to get it to connect and stay connected. And then I have my 4mm crochet hook, which I'm using for the Woobles. I got my Woobles tin, and I just open this and I put the supplies in from the Woobles little kit. And then I carry this and I put the Woobles kit in here. So because they're in a box, the bigger characters are in a box loose and not in the package, I just dump the box in here. I put the box back into the kit, and then I carry this around, which I think this was a brilliant addition to that. And I think I did tell you that I think I told you in this video, or was it Friday's video? I'm recording them at the same time, so I don't remember exactly what I told you. I did order the Christmas Advent Woobles kit. I really thought about it, and a lot of you made a really good point that I should do it for myself because I want it, because it makes me happy, and it is a tax write-off. And I don't know why I'm justifying this to you, but I think I'm justifying it to myself. The cost really bothers me still, and I don't want to come across as a hypocrite, because I have said from the very beginning the Woobles are overpriced. They are. The advent calendars are cool though, and because it's content for the channel, technically it's an investment in the channel while giving me something that I enjoy doing. So I'm not gonna explain it further than that. That's why I purchased the Christmas Advent Calendar from the Woobles for myself. It will ship sometime in September, and it will be Christmas content here on the channel. I don't think I'm gonna start it until probably December, because I don't do Christmas crochet. Everyone in my house has a handmade knit, hand designed by me. Like I designed the the stocking, I used charts and I designed the color work on it, and everyone in my house has their own stocking, and all 3 of my kids have their own stocking, and me and Miss Shinman have our own stocking, and I designed them. I knit them. So they have an heirloom to keep with them through life that I made them for Christmas every year. And occasionally I will get the, Mom, can I have a blanket? Mom, can I have, Aunt Jenny, can I have? And in those instances, I will knit or crochet something for Christmas, but I don't. I got burned one year real bad. I spent 2 months working on Christmas presents for everyone. I made everyone a hat set. I made like blankets. I made like really beautiful, heartfelt Christmas gifts. And I was treated like really bad by certain people. And it was that Christmas that I decided, okay, only these people who appreciate my efforts are going to ever get anything handmade for me ever again. And that would be my 3 kids. And that's probably where the list ends, because my husband does not, it's not that he's not appreciative that I do it. He understands the hard work and he appreciates the effort. He does not like wearing hats because it messed up his hair. He has a really nice blanket that I made for him, and I don't know where he put it. So for me, he's not necessarily crochet worthy. He's not knit worthy. And it's not that he's not appreciative. It's just he doesn't use those things. So, and it's funny because I have really beautiful yarn I got from a local yarn shop. I was going to make him a fancy business style scarf. And I used I bought men colors, and the yarn is like really, really beautiful. I know that it has wool in it, but it's a wool blend, so it's really soft and lush and gorgeous. And I was going to do color work, and then I realized he's never going to wear a scarf, so the yarn is still up there in men colors that I probably would never wear. And I intended to make him a beautiful scarf out of it. And I was like, yeah, he's not going to wear it. It'll end up in the bottom of the closet, and my heart will be broke because I made that with all my love for him. And it's not, that's not a criticism towards him at all. He doesn't use those kind of things. So making him something is like making a carpenter, like somebody who does woodwork, making them or gifting them something for someone who does yarn arts. Or gifting me a saw would not do me any good. I'm not going to use a saw. Same kind of thing. So it's not that he's not worthy. It's just he doesn't have a use for it. So that real quickly made my list real small of people I will make stuff for. And honestly, some of the people I've made stuff for are you guys. So I find some of you to be worthy because, you know, I made something for someone. It's funny because I don't show it on the channel very often. I don't say, hey, I made this, I sent it to whoever. I don't do that. That's between me and them, right? So I actually forgot I did this. I made a baby set for one of you guys, and she posted it in the Facebook group because she's expecting another baby. And I was like, my heart swelled up so much because I was like, why does that outfit look familiar? I think I made something like that. And then she posted that it's what I sent her. And I was like, and she was so excited on it, the set being on her second baby. And I was like, that made my heart so happy because you just never know when you make somebody something if they're actually ever going to use it. And I don't get to make baby stuff very often because like my circle is like this big. Like I don't have a big circle, and I don't know anybody that's having babies. Like nobody's of the age to have babies, and so I don't make a lot of baby stuff. And that made my heart so happy. And there's been a couple of instances like that where I made something or I gifted something to somebody, and no, I didn't know them in my real life, but oh my God, they were so appreciative. And to me, that means so much to me. I ran into a woman in she was a homeless woman. I was at the P.O. box. This was well over a year ago, and I was going into the P.O. box, and she was sitting outside the post office on the floor, on the ground. And she asked me if I had any change, and I was like, no, honey, I don't carry cash. I would give you some if I had it. And I stopped, and I looked at her, and she had on a hot pink crocheted scarf and hat. And I looked at her, I said, oh, your hat and your scarf are so beautiful. I love those colors. And she's all, oh, they were gifted to me from the shelter. And I was like, well, they're absolutely beautiful on you. And first of all, my main thing in life is I set out to make sure that people who feel unseen are seen. And every time I see a big girl, a fat girl, a plus size girl, whatever you want to call it, I call myself fat. I don't think fat is necessarily a bad word, okay? It can be used as a bad word, but it's not, I don't say it as an insult to myself. Okay, so if I see another big girl out there and she just has on an outfit and she's like slaying, I make every point to get to her. If she's even across the friggin' mall, I will walk walk my big ass all the way over there to make it a point to tell her she looks beautiful. And it's not just big girls, but like the big girls I notice first because I'm a big girl, and I know what it feels like to feel invisible in this world because you're big. So I make it a point. I make it a point. And I stop so many people, like all kinds of people. I will stop them and just tell them, you look great today. That outfit is fantastic on you. Your skin color looks amazing with the color you're wearing. This one lady was working at Tuesday Morning years ago, and she had on, her skin was this beautiful caramel color, and she had lilac colored stickers on her arm. And I know this was a weird compliment, and I was like, this is gonna sound weird, but that color purple looks so beautiful next to your skin. Like, it's so pretty with your skin tone. And she looked at me like I had four heads. Like, she was like, what are you talking about? I was like, you should wear that color. Like, it's so beautiful next to your skin tone. And she's like, thank you. But it was true. Like, that color purple with her caramel colored skin, oh, is the color of skin you just want to bathe in. It's just so beautiful. And I know that probably sounds really morbid and weird, but you know what I'm saying? It was just one of those colors. This beautiful brown tone. And it was so like, her skin was perfect. It was like smooth and caramel, and caramel's my favorite flavor. So I don't know. I was just like, that purple looks good on your skin tone. You know? I don't know why I was saying, oh, what point was I trying to get to? No clue. No clue where I was going with that. So anyway, that's really all I've been up to this week. I'm recording this on Friday, so I don't actually have any weekend update to give you because I don't really have plans this weekend that I haven't discussed with you in Friday's video. I might go to a Michael's up north. I might go to the Dollar Tree just to see what they have. I have a couple videos planned for next week, but I'm hoping I can execute them in a good way, in the way that I want to execute them in. And I do have at least 2 shipments coming to me with yarn in them this week. And yeah, I also am expecting school books to come in, but I'm not really going to discuss that on the channel anymore. But I do have some school books coming in that I have to prepare with. And my goals this week, because this is a new thing I'm trying to start with myself, is setting up a goal every week of what I want to do. Oh, I didn't show you this. I didn't show you this. Let me show you. This is something else I'm working on. This is the blanket, okay? And I think I showed you that I'm working on the center part of the blanket. Let's get back to the photo. I'm going to find it. Alright, so we're back here. I'm working on the center mosaic section here. And my goal this week was to finish the squares and possibly start on the center mosaic section. This is the chart we're doing. It says treat, not eat. I've gotten exactly this far. I got further than I thought I would get. Not supposed to actually see that black bit right there. That's part of my end that came out. See if I can fix it. I really have struggled with this week. Come on. I'm trying to pull it back all the way through and it's splitting on me. That's better. Alright. So I got, because I was struggling so hard, there are some points. Does that E look crooked? Is it supposed to look crooked? No. The E looks crooked. You know what though? I think that just adds to the blanket. I think it's supposed to look creepy. Looking at it, it looked like it was spelled wrong. Like, because I'm looking at it's backwards on my camera to me. It says treat. It's pulling in a little bit because I think as I'm going, I'm crocheting tighter because I'm carrying the yarn all the way across. And there were parts of the pattern where it's literally like purple, black, green, black, green, black. Like, I'm struggling to, specifically when it moved in, the purple and the black was fine. I struggled a little bit with remembering where I was at in the pattern. But when the green, the black, and the purple were all added in, I started to struggle and my brain was like, yeah, I can't do this. And I'm like, so I made it a goal yesterday, which was Thursday in my world, to just finish this section, the treat. The next part that I have to work on is the oar, which is the cauldron. And I'm going to attempt to do the cauldron all in one sitting, but I have to have, and that's really hard to see the oar there. I didn't even know it said oar, honestly, for a while. I kept looking, I'm like, why is it like green and slimy on there? So I might, I don't know. I hesitate to alter that so that it's more clearly says oar. I don't know. It looks really messy to me. And I really struggle to see the oar there. So it says trick and treat, but the oar is kind of weird. I don't know, but that means I would have to rewrite the whole thing. I would have to remake the graph, which I am fully capable of doing because like I said earlier, I have made graphs and I have made colorwork graphs. There's a website that you can go to that you can make them on. I just don't, that's an extra level of effort I don't know if I want to do. But I also don't know if I like the way it says or. Could I change the color in the letters or and still have the slime on it? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I'm still, this is as far as I got. And I felt like I really accomplished something by doing that. So since I'm recording this on Friday, I think actually I'm going to open up some more woobles and make some woobles for the haunted house as my reward today for getting this done and for getting these videos recorded, because I'm really struggling with that as well, which is why Friday's video was late, so late. But I did this and I feel like it looks good, and we still got the purple attached to it. So I'm making progress and I'm taking little tiny baby steps in that blanket. But a couple of you said just keep on doing a little bit at a time, and I'm not going to be done when everyone, well, when not everyone else is going to stop that mentality. I'm not going to be done when the crochet along is over, which I think is next week, or maybe in 2 days. 2 days from now is I think the final, the border. I know that I'm not going to finish it in the month of September. I might. I want it to be done by Halloween. And I have 2 full months to have that blanket done by Halloween. And if I just take it in little bites, I can do that. And so that's my goal, is just a little bit every week. I'm going to I print everything off every week when it's released, and then I just take it in little chunks. because they've already released, this past week is the bloody border around the purple part. So that is the next step. And then I think the last week, and that one's already been released. I think the last week is going to be the border, which is going to be pumpkins and spider webs. And of course assembly. Because I'm not assembling the entire border until the center is done. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So that is the update, the full update of what I have done, what I have made, what I'm doing, my progress, my goals for the week. The goal this week is to do the cauldron, this part, and only that part. That's all I'm going to do this week. And it might take me all week. And I'm going to reward myself with some woobles for the haunted house. And I'm really having fun not only creating the little creatures, but I'm having fun putting them in the house. It's like a little dollhouse. I always wanted a dollhouse growing up. And specifically I wanted a Barbie dollhouse because I loved Barbies growing up. Like Barbies were my thing. I had a godmother. Her name was Helen. And she's the only person in my entire life that only cared about me. And I say that because I have two sisters and they were the easy child. And so my godmother did not care about them. She would treat me every Christmas. She would take me out for every birthday. She would give me a shopping spree for both those holidays. And she would buy me whatever my heart desired. And a lot of times that was Barbies. And it was Cabbage Patch dolls. And hang on one second. Sorry about that. So anyway, like I was saying, my godmother, I had a very nice collection of Barbies growing up. I never got like the holiday Barbies or anything like that because they were just way too expensive. So when I had a daughter, I made sure she at least got one holiday Barbie, which she treasured for years. And I let her open the box and play with it because, like, what's a Barbie if you can't play with it, right? And so I always wanted a Barbie house growing up. We couldn't afford that. And that's, even though my godmother said, buy whatever you want for my birthday and Christmas, I was still a very respectable child. And I didn't want to spend all her money. And so I would buy like a Barbie or a Cabbage Patch doll, which were expensive back then even. And so I never asked for anything really expensive. And I was fully aware that my godmother, I have a story to tell you about my godmother. My godmother was a recovering alcoholic. And she went into recovery after she almost killed herself from driving drunk. So my godmother was much shorter than she used to be because she went under a semi-tractor trailer and almost died. And she lost a good chunk of her leg. So she still had a foot there, but like her leg was about that much shorter than the other one because like the accident was really, really bad. And so she had to wear a shoe with a big giant lift, so she kind of hobbled. She was a little scary, I'm going to be real honest with you. She was a scary old woman, and she had a crazy walk. And she was, even at 11 years old, she was much shorter than me. And I was telling the story to my daughter yesterday, is she had two poodles. And they were not fancy designer poodles. They were just like the mid-sized poodles. And she drove real hunched over, probably from the damage in her car accident. She never talked about it. My mom told me in brief detail what happened, but my godmother never talked to me about it. I never asked. And so she was really hunched over, so she would drive like this, a little old lady. She wasn't even that old, I don't think, but when I was a little kid, she seemed really old and decrepit to me and scary. And she drove like this, and the poodle would lay on her shoulders, like in between the cars, like right here, would lay across her. And then the second poodle would lay in the back window on that flat part behind the back seats, right? And they would stay in the car when we went in the stores or whatever. And I don't even remember the names of the dogs. I can see them as clear as day because they had really bad like staining around their eyes from, you know, because they were white poodles. Well, one was kind of tannish poodle, but they were still both white poodles. They were real ragged. They didn't look like they were well taken care of, but she spoiled them dogs. She also had a cat or two in her house. I can still remember her house smelled very strong of mothballs. And she had a really cool house. It was really old. It actually burned to the ground. It burned down right after she passed away, which was crazy. Anyway, so yeah, she was a unique character. She kind of reminded me of, you guys ever seen the scary movie Leprechaun? That's who she reminded me of a little bit. So she was scary, but she did a lot for me growing up. She really did. And there was a few people throughout my life that just made me feel like, oh, you are an important person. It was my godmother, my godfather, but my godfather didn't come into my life until I think I was 17. I was in an abusive relationship at the time. And he is the first man in my entire life. And my dad was always in my life, but my godfather came to live with us for a little while. He's the first man who ever came into my life and said, you deserve better. Someone will love you. And I was really, really criticized for my weight. And my godfather loved big women. Like, he was one of those guys. He was a chubby chaser, okay? He loved big women. And he told me, he goes, there's going to be someone who loves you because they like big women. He goes, I love big women. He goes, you're going to find somebody that loves big women. And I didn't want to hear that at the time because I was 17. I didn't want to be fat. I hated that I was fat. I hated my body. I had really bad self-esteem issues. I was in an abusive relationship. So that in itself, I was in a really bad place when I was 17. And here comes my godfather saying something that hurt my feelings so bad at the time, that someone will love you even though you're fat, because he was blunt like I am. And that hurt my feelings, but looking back on it, it was like, that is the most positive message he could have given me in that moment, is that someone will love you for you someday. You don't have to lose weight. You don't have to do anything to be different. You are beautiful the way you are. He didn't say it that way. He was not that eloquent. He also, one of the things he said to me frequently is, you have no need to wear makeup. Don't put on your war paint. And he always called it war paint. And my older sister specifically was very, very into war paint. She loved makeup. And I wore it because I was told I had to because I'm a girl. And that's why I don't wear it to this day. Because if Uncle Timmy can tell me that you don't need that to be beautiful, I'm going to listen to him. Because he's the first person to tell me that someone will love you for who you are. You don't have to be different. He ironically died, let's see, November, December, January, February, March. He died 5 months before I met Mr. Cinnamon. And in a lot of ways, Mr. Cinnamon reminds me of my godfather. A lot of ways. Kind of feels like, you know, maybe Uncle Timmy went up to heaven and was like, hey, this is the guy right here. I looked all the way in California. He's coming. He's coming. He's going to love you for exactly who you are. So, yeah. There were a couple of people in my life that just, like, stand out to me that they were a godsend. They got me through, or they gave me a message of hope, or they gave me a message of love and encouragement that I wasn't getting anywhere else. I think that's maybe why I try to spread that out. That's why I try to be the positive. That's why I try to make sure somebody else knows that they're valued, that they're important, that they're beautiful, that they don't need to change who they are to be accepted, that they are perfect just the way they are. Maybe that's why. Because of my godparents. Because of Sister Pat, who was the nun at the church I worked at when I was a senior in high school. And she gave me some valuable lessons too. Or my high school, my senior in high school teacher, Janice Richardson. Because she had my back. She had my back. She went to bat for me a couple of times. She got me to graduate high school. She's the only one that was out for me. She was pushing behind me. She was a little thing too. She was behind me like, come on, you can do it. We got this. And she was in it with me too. I wouldn't have graduated high school if it wasn't for her. So, I'm trying to end my videos on a positive note too. So, with that, I hope you have someone in your life, even if it's just me, who believes in you, who is encouraging you, who is telling you you're beautiful. All those things are true. And goals for the week are to work on the cauldron. Maybe not finish it, but at least work on it. And do a couple more woobles. And survive. That's our goal for the week, is to survive. Okay? That's a really big goal. We're just going to get through this week. We're going to keep pushing forward. And, yeah, I hope you guys are working on something valuable. I hope you're working on something that means something to you, that you could pour your heart into, or that brings you a smile or joy or whatever the case may be. And I hope this week is good to all of us. And I am thinking about each and every one of you. And I hope that you will continue to keep me in your thoughts, your prayers, light a candle for me. All those things, because I feel that. I feel it. And with that, I'm going to let you guys go. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.